Alright, here we go. I got the little bracket I made to go up under the car, sits right there. And I got all the couplers clamped down. I got the port, I got the one of many vacuum lines done for the blow off valve. Check. All clamps are in tight. Whew, this shit was a real bitch. Like, learning how to mess with couplers, the biggest thing that kept messing with me is that, like, I'm trying to get it even on both sides, because this over here was getting like really tight, and I'm trying to make sure that both of these like lips, the lip on this side, the lip on this side of the piping, is like right in the middle with enough space to clamp down, because if you have one side too far in, this other side of the U, it's gonna be too short and too tight and all this other shit. So and then up there it was getting really tight, of trying to get the angle of the pipe up to the coupler that meets the housing. So honestly, I don't know whether it's better to start the bottom corner, work your way up, or start from the top and work your way down. Honestly, bro, I don't know which one's better, but this shit was a pain in the ass. My back hurts, so I'm just gonna let this clip roll in to the next one when we get the alternator in. But I just want to give y'all the little update. I got time and I did it. It's all set. Alright, we're back this beautiful Sunday morning. Today we're gonna get to putting the alternator in, and I'm gonna try to get started on the wiring part of it, but we are definitely gonna get the alternator in today. So if I haven't showed you, I got the 130 amp, and this is gonna be all of the connectors and hardware and instructions. This is the big ass new fuse that I'm gonna need to route, which is why I put I'll put the new radiator and everything in first, then bam, that big bad boy right there. So let me go ahead and get that put in and show you what we got. So the new alternator is in, and it was not easy. I had to loosen up these bolts to get that long one out, to be able to get the I don't know if you can see that, a little spacer. And then I had to source my own hardware for this piece, because the hardware that came with the alternator was not long enough, and then the alternator and then the bolts that were left over for the turbo kit for the relocation bracket were also not long enough. So the pulleys, everything lines up. So as long as this pulley lines up with the harmonic balancer on the bottom, then we are good to go, and we are. It's not, the top bolt right here isn't fully tightened. All the other ones are, because I think this is how I will be able to get the new belt on and tighten it, because there is no more tensioner pulley. So this is gonna be the way, and I'll figure that out once we get to that. But the new alternator is in. It was not easy. It was a tight fit. It is a tight fit, but we're gonna have great electrical power. And now I am about to see what I can easily get done in terms of the electrical setup, because over here are this is for the alternator, all these plugs. So yeah, well, I'm gonna start pulling back all these wires, start stripping them, and try to get set up. You gotta love the power of YouTube and editing, because that took me forever, but it was only a second for y'all. So all the wires are done. Yeah, this I know it looks bad, it looks janky, it looks really raggedy, but it is all done. I ran into an issue with the yellow wire for the harness to the new yellow wire. Couldn't even use the butt connector that they gave, because the yellow wire to the harness of the car the wire, the copper wire was just it was just too thick for some reason. The green wire to the car was perfect. Like, it came out like mad thin, easy, boom. But yeah, so I had to do some pretty much split the two ends of the wires of the copper in half, and then twist them together, and you know, do like pretty much like a stitch, heat shrink, wrap it up, whatever. But that is all done. I have to now run the new fuse. I'm just giving myself a little bit of a break because that was a lot to do. I'm not gonna lie. Trying to, you know, when it comes to electrical, you got to be careful. So I didn't want to rush anything. I took my sweet time. So now, next thing to do is to run the new power wire, which is obviously gonna go right up under here, and I'm gonna put the fuse. I think I'm gonna put the fuse box like right down here somewhere, mad easy, because even with the battery being there, it's not gonna be an issue. I still got the battery tray, so I can mock up the battery tray real quick, just to make sure wherever I place the fuse box for the alternator, we're good to go. Alright, so now I got the fuse wire ran. It's not tying down or anything. I still gotta like zip tie it. I'm definitely gonna get like a heat wrap shield for definitely this, because I don't need none of these wires burning up near the housing and the alternator. We got it ran all the way up under here, and the fuse box is right there. I know there's a lot of there's a lot of slack. There's a lot of loose wire slack. I want to keep the wire tight on this end. If not, I'll probably just like extend it to run along this wall, and then this can run along this side to try to take away the slack, and maybe I'll reposition the box, because it is already, I got it bolted in right there into the relay. So that's done. So now only thing I'm gonna need to do later, because can't finish it up right now, we'll come back to this later. Just gotta get rid of all this slack, and then once I zip tie it and have it pretty much set, then alternator's done. The alternator's in. I gotta tighten up that bolt that has all of the nuts right there. The nut right there that has all of the connections running to the back of the alternator. I'm gonna tighten that down real quick, and then I'm out of here, and I'll come back to this later. I gotta go. So yeah, that's where we at. It looks like a mess. Plan on cleaning it up, don't worry about it. You'll see. Alright guys, we checking back in 2 days later, and I have the fuse wire all zip tied up, cleaned up, out the way. It's tucked, zip tied down there. I'll put in the battery tray because that's where I'm temporarily gonna run it, and it fits. That works there. Got a self tap and hose clamp there, and it ran right there. So that is all set. And while I was doing that, I was also able to go and get the right sizes for the water pump pulley. That is now fully on, good to go. And now I know still all these wires look crazy and sticking out, whatever, like, just bear with me guys. I'm just trying to get the car running. Yes, I will have this all cleaned up properly by my boy, who is a wizard with you know, electrical work and, you know, the space and the time. But I'm working on a clock pretty much, so I'm just trying to get it running, and I'm trying to do it the best I can, so that no major failures. And yes, obviously I'm gonna need a lot of, you know, heat protection in this area, a lot of it, and most likely a lot of it down there and off to the side. But we got it. Now I just got to do I need to get the intake manifold pretty much ready. Got to figure out what's gonna get vacuumed and plumbed where. So I was able to go and get me another block off bolt. Pick a focus, there we go. I was able to go ahead and buy me another block off bolt, because I'm going to figure out what needs to get fully blocked off and what doesn't on the back of the intake. And I'm going to be using a lot of the vacuum ports here so that I don't need to use that much off of here. So like the brake booster is going to run straight to the back of the intake manifold. Then this big one is going to run to the back of the intake manifold to provide you know, the rest of the connections here. There's a vacuum line going over there. This is the vacuum line going to the blow-off valve. And then, you know, I'm gonna hook up the turbo straight to the wastegate because it's on a weak spring. It's on like a very soft spring. It's not a lot of PSI, so I don't need a boost controller for now. So yeah, like, got rid of a lot of vacuum lines that I don't need. Plugged up all the EGR stuff. So just gonna make sure that everything is where it needs to be. And you know, once I get the intake manifold, I gotta figure out how to put that back on there. So that's next. I have to start messing with the intake manifold, get that prepped and ready, and what's gonna get plugged where. And then I guess I could just plug this in for now. Whatever, just plug that in, just have it out the way. Looks crazy, but leave it alone. So yeah, that's gonna be the next thing, is focusing on the intake manifold so I can get that on there, get everything else mounted up, and work on the rest of the side of the car. I have to go get new spark plugs, all 8. I should definitely just put the spark plugs in now, like while everything is like still exposed, because I'm trying to look right now in terms of where they're going, and like, yeah, I should have definitely just put the spark plugs in when I had the headers off, honestly, because now that I'm thinking about it, putting all 8 of them in is going to be a total pain in the ass. So that's going to be fun to deal with. But yep, almost there, little by little. So new alternators in, wires are ran, cleaned up. We are getting there. We are getting there.